everybody, CW here. I wanted to get outside and show you the stock. I did decide to stain it. This is mahogany, and although it comes out really red on lighter woods, on walnuts, it gives it a nice rich color. And I was worried it was going to be too red, but it's not. I think it's pretty good. And the crack we had was right here, just in front of the notch for the bolt relief, and it went forward about 2 inches. So you can't even see it now. It's totally gone. And it went right inside there, right at the crease. You can kind of see a little bit of the glue residue right there on the inside. But that's one coat of stain, and that's all I'm going to give it. So I'm not looking to change the color a lot. I just wanted to darken it up a little. And you can see the peg I put in there is obvious for texture, but not for color. It blends pretty good for color. Same with the one black back there. Here we go. We're going to start with the first coats of finish. It's super smooth, super slick. I like it a lot. So we'll see how it comes out. All right, stand by. Well, I did a little trial fit. We've got 3 coats of finish on here. This is True Oil, and it's looking pretty good. I knocked it down twice, but I gave it 2 coats, and then I knocked it down with steel wool, and then I gave it a coat, and I knocked it down again, and that's the way it is now. So the wood pores are not filled at all. You can see there's lots of wood pores that need filling. But it does have 3 coats on it. And it does fit really nice. Really, really nice. I pillar bedded the back. I need to glass bed the front bottom metal and the front lug. And then once I get that done, I can relieve up here, because right now we've got some forward tip pressure right here, and it's full floated all the way down. So that may not be bad. I'm not going to alter that until after I shoot it, because it's easy to take it away. It's not so easy to put it back. So we're just going to glass bed the bottom metal into position, and then glass bed the top into position. And then once that's done, I'll trim that up and then give it another sand, and then finish the top coats. But the pad is totally done. We just need some more coats on the wood and to finish the glass bed. I did throw the scope on just to get a look at it. It feels really good. It weighs 8 pounds as you're looking at it, so it's a nice weight. Not really a lightweight, but it's lighter than most of what I have. And I think this is a 21-inch barrel. It's not quite 22, but I think it looks really good. You don't really see any red from that mahogany stain, but it just makes it richer. So stay tuned. I'll bring you along when we do the bedding so you can see how I do that. Hello, everybody. All right, let's do some bedding here. We're going to start by bedding this bottom metal. And basically, we're only bedding this area right here. Everything else fits really good. There's really no reason for it. There's no real advantage to doing it on this rifle. But if you remember, the guy hogged out a big hole in the wood, and then in the bottom of the wood where you can see, and then he hogged out a big hole for this. So we've got to fill this in, and we got to fill all this in. So we got a number of traps here, and traps are places where the bedding can get in and lock your pieces in that you don't want locked in. So you got to be able to pop these out. So one of them is this relief here, and basically it's just to save weight, just a cutout. So we're going to fill that in with Play-Doh. We're going to fill this in where the screw goes there with Play-Doh. And if you look up here, see that hole? That's a lock screw that a lot of Mausers had, military Mausers had. You put your main screw in here, tighten it down, and you turn it until you get a little half moon. There was 3 half moons in this screw, bedding screw. And then you put that in, and it would lock this screw so that it couldn't loosen up on you. So we're going to fill all that with Play-Doh. And then, because we don't want everything to just run out, we can't really cover the inside because of the way it is. But the outside we can. So we're going to cover that with like something, and then we're going to tape over it. So it's going to be the wood, it's going to be taped over in such a way it doesn't pull our finish off, but holds the finish, holds this epoxy into here without running over the edge and locking this in. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour it in, and then we're going to make sure that there's nothing there and let the epoxy dry. And we're going to use a more liquid epoxy because we want it to flow. We want to fill everything in flow. Versus when we do the top side, we want it a little bit stiffer so it doesn't flow so far. We want it to stay where we put it. This epoxy we want to flow, to fill in. So let's fill this in with Play-Doh. I'll put you on speedy mode. I just saw something here that could have been bad. Talking about locking things in. If you didn't look close and didn't notice that that was a cutout, if you thought that was 100% round, you went in for a surprise because you would have locked your bottom metal right into your gun. You'd have never got that out. That's all got to be filled with with Play-Doh. But you can see how I got that filled and leveled off. Same here. You just pack it in. It's fine. It's going to work. All right, let's get these other 2 sides. Okay, here we go. All filled in, nice and level. Filled in nice and level. Up there, what we wanted to do is you don't want any undercuts. Okay, because undercut is going to grab and it's going to hold. If it's like that, if it's sloped out, because this bottom metal is going to come out this way, so it'll pop right out. And the fact that it's not perfect right there won't hurt anything. You've got surface area all over here and all around the back and the top side. It's going to be fine. Plus the outside of this is going to be locked in. Now our wood is not dead flush right here. So we got to be careful as the epoxy goes in. It's going to want to run over top of this to seek the level of the wood, and that would lock it in. So we got to make sure we scrape that back before the epoxy dries. And we're going to be using pretty fast set epoxy, so it should be not a big deal. But let's get all set up for that. As for Play-Doh, any Play-Doh works. This is just modeling clay, Sargent modeling clay, and this has been used over and over and over again. So it's not really critical. Your kids' Play-Doh will work, or regular modeling clay, or anything like this. You can buy high-dollar stuff that's made for this, but it does the same thing. This has lasted me for years. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 bars in there still. It's going to last you forever, and it's cheap. All right, I'm just thinking here, we're going to run into a compound problem. As I put this in here, and I seat it all the way in, and you can see what we got to fill in. But the problem is, if I put in liquid epoxy, it's going to run in here, and it's going to run right out there. I can't really put a tape over this because it's going to creep up over that, and it's going to lock it in. So I think what I have to do is fill this with epoxy, with a putty. That ain't going to work either because I'm going to have to fill this side. Maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of perplexed here. Maybe I just take a chance and just chisel away whatever comes over here. Because I can put some plastic over this and then wrap this really tight without worrying about the finish. And we're not really overly worried about the finish, because I just put a couple of coats on here to kind of protect it. We're nowhere near finished. So it's going to need a lot more coats. You can see all the wood pores. It needs a lot more. This is just 3 coats. So if we pull some of this finish off or something happens, it's not going to be the end of the world. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to seal this side off and just hope for the best. I'll degrease this and hope I can get the tape to stick to that. And that'll hold it back from, I'm not worried about coming back here, just coming over the top here, but it's pretty much going to, but I think I can cut it and chisel it and make it acceptable. Even if I had to come back and sand all this down, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I could live with that. Because that way I can fill it from this side, which is the way it should be. Then I can control it. I can scrape it out of here and only get it down in there, and that'll be fine. All right, I think I might build a little dam on the sides just because it'll make it easier to keep the epoxy out of there, but I'll do that here on speedy mode. Looks like a bit of a mess, and it is that. I'm just picking out all the excess epoxy that we don't need, that might present a problem for us after, popping this out. Now we put lots of release agent all over this, so we should be okay. And I forgot to show it to you guys, but what I like to use is some stuff that I actually really don't like for reloading, and that is One Shot. It seems to work really, really well as a bedding release agent. A couple of coats, and you should be good shape. Of course, I don't even put it back on the bench and it falls on the floor. But there we go. Just clean up my messes here. Because it's easier to clean it now than when the epoxy hardens. This is my stirring stick that I've used forever. And it's actually a piece of 17 cleaning rod that I cut off for one that wasn't working anymore. Here's a grip on my bench. Save your cup with epoxy, because it'll tell you how hard things are. There we go. Now we just pray for the best. That should seep down in. And let's hope it pops out. I'll meet you back here in a couple hours. All right, it says 8 to 12 hours. This has been about 4 or 5. And I went in here and I scraped off everything that was getting close to the, overrunning. And I pulled the clay out, pulled the clay out of the hole. And under here I did the same thing. Now we've got some epoxy that got out, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's pretty hard now. This epoxy is pretty hard. It's not ready to be popped out yet, but it's pretty hard. My fingernail just dents it, so we're going to leave it we're going to leave it. We got a little bit of sanding to do to clean it up, but that's okay. We're a little bit proud up here. I purposely left this a little bit proud because I knew I was going to have to come back and clean it up. And it also shrank. So it shrank down in a little more than I liked. But in here, we got it really good. I came back off screen when you guys didn't see, but I pushed lots of epoxy down in there and off screen. I see a little bit of shiny over here. On the metal. We'll see how it goes. We're going to wait till tomorrow morning to pop this out. And then once that's done, then I can bed the rest. And what I'll do, actually I should have left that clay in there, because I can't leave it in there because it sets down in that. I see a big chink there. Oh well, there we are. I got a little bit of epoxy right here. Oh, it kind of flakes off. Good. Good. All right, that's it. Just wanted to give you a little quick update on what we got going on here. It looks pretty good. I say in here is really good, out there is not, but we'll come back and address that after the fact. There we go. Stand by. Next time you see it, we'll be ready to pop it out. Okay, moment of truth. Morning, everybody. Here we are the next morning, and I'm just making sure there isn't anything here that's obvious that's going to cause us problems. I'm going to use a punch from the top, from the inside. Remember, we just did here, so I mean, it can be bad things. We can split all this out, and let's just hope, cross our fingers, that does not occur. So we're going to put this back in here like this, and we're going to take our punch, just going to fit right in here nicely, and a hammer, and we're going to say, Jesus, please help us. Let's hope this doesn't. Here we go. Ready? Boy, oh boy, I'm not ready. Okay. I think it moved. Yes, it definitely moved. It definitely moved. It's coming out. We don't want to torque it too much, so we're going to pull that back. I just pulled the back out. Go back up here. All right, she's coming right out nicely. But we're gonna, here we go. There we go. Okay, we are out. We're out and we are okay. All right, looks like our clay stuck, but let's hope that it just peels right off, because we did have release agent on it. Let me get, I guess this will work. We're going to get a chisel, but this will work just as well. We didn't bed any of this. So if we got anything in here, and it looks like we do, it looks like we got epoxy back into here. So we'll just cut that off. That's not a problem. You always got to do some trimming whenever you do epoxy bedding like this. There's always some areas that it goes that you don't want it to go, and it's usually not a big deal to get it trimmed out and get it out of there. Oh, this is looking really good. Again, we're going to sand You see we got a nice fit all the way around this side. A little bit of clay right there. But looks like we done okay. Looks like a little bit of undercut there. But it's going to be okay. All right. That looks really good. It's going to go a long way to our bedding of the top. And on here, everything looks good. I see nothing. The inside's got a little bit of clay in it. We didn't get all that out, but we'll get all that out. We'll get this out. Everything looks fine there. All right, there we go. So this is going to be plenty long enough. I'm going to cut this video off. All I've got to do here is to clean all this up and resand and finish, but that's not what this is about. We knew we'd have to do that. And when I get this sanded down flush, it should look better as well. All right, there we go. Oh, I got a little bit over here. That's all right. Again, we only coated this a couple of coats to protect it because it was raw wood. So I'm not at all, have a problem with that because it's all going to go down to filling these pores. And the fact that we got some schma on here isn't going to hurt anything, and we're going to get it all cleaned up and done again before we're done. Next we're going to do is we're going to bed this whole area here, probably up to about here. And then we're going to bed a little bit back here. I'll get the pillar in here, and then we'll bed that in. But there won't be a lot back here because the fit here was really good. Butterfingers this morning. This fit is really good now. Yeah, that's going to be nice. Look at that. It goes right in there. I can push that right in. Very nice. All right, everybody. Let me close this video out. And we'll make a new one. Another video, another installment for the rest of the bedding. Very good. All right. God bless everybody. CW out.